Hi, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Rod's Views, where you get direct, uncontaminated, thoughtful, thought-provoking, and not influenced by anyone else's views on current affairs in South Africa. And as I always say, please subscribe to the channel. And this is another episode in the post-2024 elections, where I share my views around where to now for South Africa. And I want to start a series of chats talking about the formation of the cabinet or the executive. And I see from watching the news and listening to people and so on, it's getting tough with a capital TOUGH to put a GNU type of cabinet together and to get a functioning government off the ground. I see parties are firming their positions, but some people will have to get a reality check as we move along here. The game has changed, and it is no longer business as usual. None of them are victors, or no one has all the cards if they were to play poker or anything. Some might have a better hand than others, so that's a fact. But the impact of the choices of the electorate and the content of that hastily signed GNU agreement of intent, it was hastily signed because it had to be signed in order to get the speaker and a deputy speaker elected, the president elected, and to get the government formed in KZN as soon as possible, before the MK party were alive to the possibilities, as they say. So the impact of those choices, as I said, and the hastily signed GNU agreement of intent are only starting to sink in now. And if the wise and pragmatic adults don't emerge soon and cool down the hotheads on all sides of the table, then I unfortunately foresee three possible scenarios being in play. Firstly, the DA will walk away from this whole saga and go and occupy the opposition benches, and this could possibly be accompanied by legal action, and it would have implications for the PGU's Provincial Government of Unities in Gauteng and KZN, and even for the Northern Cape, if I must say so. Secondly, the ANC will try and form a minority government or form a GNU with all the smaller or 1 or 2 seat parties that they have been making deals with. The last count is about 10 parties that have signed, and these are all parties consisting of 1 or 2 seats. So you got minuscule support. So the ANC will try and form a minority government with those, or a GNU with those small parties and the EFF and possibly the MK party. There are implications for that. I'll talk about that a bit later. And thirdly, if the two things that I mentioned above cannot happen, then we will have new elections in South Africa. So the implications for all of this are, in my humble estimation, the following. Firstly, the markets that were so happy with what was happening over the last few days, where the rand strengthened significantly, will give South Africa a severe beating, and the rand will take a huge hit. Secondly, if the ANC do a deal with the EFF, which I call the Red Berets, and the MK Party, which I call the Green Berets. The latter two, they will extract maximum largesse for themselves. Then the ANC is in a weak position when it comes to them. Then the third implication is Cyril Ramaphosa won't last long as a president of South Africa or the ANC. He will either resign, he will be impeached. Remember, the EFF already sent in that letter, and the DA indicated they would support him. If they now on the opposition benches, they're no longer going to support him. So he will either resign, he will be impeached, or he will be recalled by the ANC. So yes, South Africans, tighten your belt. As I say, the movie is continuing. Take out your popcorn and watch how the popa are dancing. However, let us ordinary folk not remain silent, and we need to remind the politicians of their mantra after the elections, where they said consistently, whatever they do, they will put the interests of the people of South Africa first, and they have heard the voters. So let us remind them that the voters want them to do the right thing for the benefit of all of us. So salute, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Rod's Views. All the best.